Today we're gonna be reviewing this car. So basically this is a NIO ET5 T. A T stands for Touring, not for Turbo. If you don't know the car, I'm gonna go a little bit around, show you around the car. I'm not gonna go into deep review for this car, but basically we're gonna be doing range test, 0 to 100 test, as well as charging test, and we will do a few laps on the track to test its performance. My name is Marco and you're watching EV Exposed. Right, before we start, so let me introduce the car to you, give you a few details. So basically this is ET5 T Touring. It has a dual motor, so it's four-wheel drive, 360 kilowatts of horsepower, and then 700 newton meters of torque. And as you can see, it's running on Michelin tires, 19-inch 245 tires. Go into the inside of the car. As you can see, the car feels really, it has a really good quality. So we have two different displays here. The first one is your instrument cluster, so you have your speed, your gear selector and everything, all the information. And then in the middle, the central console here, we have the bigger screen, which has all the controls for the car, so including everything, your driving modes, climate control and everything. So as you can see, this car has the English language, and yeah, so it's really easy to use. For example, here we have the driving modes here: Comfort, Eco, Sport, Sport Plus, and all the other modes we have here. Here we have the gear selector. As you can see, it's really small. We have the P gear on the side here. Here we have a wireless charger, which I think the position is really good. So basically you have access to your phone. You can put it anytime here and you have access to it. It's much easier rather than some of the other manufacturers where they put it far away. Here we have two cup holders. We have some physical buttons here, so your hazard light, as well as lock and unlock the doors. We have some storage here, so this is really good. So you can open the same axle from both sides. Yeah, so basically this is the front of the car. And before you forget, you have your assistant here, which is called, so you can interact with it. It's called Nomi. Hey Nomi. All right. Here at the back of the car, as you can see, it's okay. The space is okay, and not as spacious as the Zeekr 001. But it has good space. The only downside that I see on this car is the under thigh here. So your legs are, as the floor is, because you have the battery, on the floor here. So it's too high. So your legs are always hanging here, not sitting properly. And yeah, the space under the seat in the front is not good enough. So you can squeeze your foot, but it's not as comfortable as it should be. And we have this panoramic roof. As you can see here, it's a bit raining, but the roof is gives you like really good brings a lot of lights into the car. Right, so before we start doing our tests, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested on seeing the performance of this car, range, charging, acceleration and track performance, stay tuned and watch the video till the end. Alright, so just topping up the battery. It's currently at 99%, as you can see here. Still have 1 minute till full charge. I will do the charging test after we finish the range test, because the battery was at 90% when the car was delivered to me, so we cannot know the exact charging speed at that level. Right, so as you can see here, we're at 99%. The range is at 527. Let's see, we'll hit 100% anytime soon. So basically, once we hit the 100% charging, it will stop charging by itself, and then from there we start our test. So I'm gonna drive it from 100% down to 50% and see how much range we can get from there, and then we can figure out our efficiency and everything. Right now it's at 99%, and yeah, we should get going pretty soon. It was raining actually a little bit, but it already stopped, so hopefully there will be no rain during the test, so that doesn't affect the range.
Alright, so I think I'm gonna just stop it here because it's taking the last bit of 1% is just taking forever to charge that. So we'll start our test with the battery 99. I think this is as close as possible to 100%. You know, it shows 1 minute, but it's been like this for you know, around 7-8 minutes. So basically I'm gonna stop the charging right now, and we will just do our test starting from 99, which is the closest you can get to 100%. So we're starting our journey. So basically the car setting, I put it on eco, and the air conditioning is at auto 22 degrees, and then because it doesn't show any trip information over there, so we're gonna just use this one. So 15,651 kilometers. So we will you know, base our calculations from this number and see how much we can drive up to 50, you know, down to 50%, and see how many kilometers we can do. So okay, we're gonna use this number, and down here we can refer to this graph for the efficiency. So I just done the first 100 kilometers, and I'll show you in a minute. Right, as you can see here, we started at 15,651. Now it's 15,752, and the battery, as you can see here, it's down to 77%. The range is down to 410 from 527. And the average here is, the average consumption is 16 kilowatts per 100 kilometer. So that's very, very efficient. In terms of driving, the car feels really good. It drives more like a Tesla. So this car doesn't have the air suspension like the Zeekr, so it doesn't feel as comfortable as that one. But you know, you expect that from such a heavy car, 2.1 ton. So you know, the suspension has to be a little bit stiff in order to handle the you know, the weight of the car. But yeah, the sitting position is really good. I like the sitting position on this car. Very comfortable, especially in terms of your elbows. So you can put your elbows on both sides. You know, for the central console here, as well as, you know, the door handle here. So it's really, really comfortable to drive for long distances. You get like the right. The sitting position of this car is way better than the Zeekr. So on the Zeekr, you're more comfortable with the suspension, you know, because you can change the setting for the suspension. It's you know, the damping, as well as the, you know, the ride height and everything, so that will give you more comfortable ride. But it doesn't give you. This one has more feedback in terms of, you know, the road condition. So you get a lot of feedback from the steering wheel, as well as the sitting position. This one is way better. 50% of battery state of charge. Range is down to 268, and let's see how many kilometers we have done. Okay, so it's so basically we started at 15,651, and now it's 15,863. So it's 213 kilometers of range for a 50% battery usage. All right, and then here the average consumption is around 17.3. It's a little bit up because, as you can see at the end of the graph, I've been going uphill, so the consumption went a little bit up. But as you can see here, the average consumption right now, it's around 17.3. So 17.3, which is 173 watts per kilometers. All right, so the next test, we're gonna be heading to a charging station and do the charging tests, and then from there we're gonna do the 0 to 60 acceleration test. So just arrived to the charging station here, and battery state 42%, and I already did the warm up for the battery before coming here. So on the way here I activated on route, so it will precondition the battery for maximum charging. So basically I'm gonna use a supercharger with a 360 kilowatt capacity. So we're gonna use this one, so we figure out how, you know, the maximum. So basically the maximum charging capacity for this car, it's not running on 800 volts, it's only on 400 volts. So the maximum should be around 180. But yeah, let's plug it in and see how fast we can charge. All right, so we start charging. The charging speed right now, it's at 134 kilowatts. This is the current, it's at 325 amps. So the battery needs to be charged so we can do the 0 to 100 test, as well as go into the racing track to do some performance tests. So we just hit 70% and the charging speed is down to 80 kilowatts, 78, 79, 70%, and we went from so it's been 11 minutes since we start charging, so we went from 44% to 70% in 12 minutes, which is not bad at all, considering because the battery size actually is not big. That's why, you know, it doesn't take long to charge the battery. But hopefully this speed will stay like this up, let's say to 85%. So I've been charging for 14 minutes, 15 minutes, sorry, 25 minutes. So we started at 59, now it's 24, so 25 minutes. The battery is up to 87%. The charging is down to 38. It just hit 88%. So the range on this car, so you can do at least 420, 430 on a single charge on highway. If you're doing like commuting, you know, in the city center, then you're probably gonna get more than that. In terms of charging, yes, it's not the fastest, so probably you're gonna go 130 kilowatts of per hour. But remember, the battery on this car is not big, so it's 75 kilowatt hour, so it takes less time to charge it. But also remember that this is a NIO car, so they have the option to swap. You can swap the battery instead of charging it. So instead of going for a charger, you can just swap the battery. It takes less than 5 minutes to swap the battery. And but I think the service used to be free before, but I think lately with the new models, I think they it's something that you have to pay for. It's service that you have to pay an annual fee to be able to access to the swapping station, so you can swap your battery. Just to keep that in mind, so you don't have to sit around waiting for the battery to charge. You can also go and swap the battery, which it takes less than 5 minutes, and you get a fully charged battery. So it stopped raining and the road is dried, and yeah, let's do the acceleration 0 to 100. So basically this car, the number from the manufacturer is 4 seconds. Let's see. The battery is charged to 88%, so we should get the best time out of it.
Kilometers.
3.77 seconds. That was fast. That was even faster than the claimed number from the factory. So yeah, so you have it. 3.77 seconds, 0 to 100. All right, next step is to head to the track and do some lap times.
So right, we arrived here at the racing track, but as you can see, it's raining. Yeah, it's raining, so hopefully it's gonna stop, so we will wait it out and see if the rain stops, because otherwise it's gonna be useless, because we cannot compare the you know, comparison for the, you know, the lap time if the track is not dry.
Right, so ready to go in. First of all, I will do a few laps just to see how the car handles and behaves before we do a lap time. The track today is a little bit wet, so not a perfect condition for, you know, doing a lap time, but let's see. It's starting to get dry, but it's still a little bit wet. Okay, so basically I put the car on the Sport Plus mode. That will give you full power, as well as this suspension is the standard suspension, so it doesn't have any, you know, adaptive damping or, you know, adjustable height. But so far, yeah, the car seems to handle well for such you know, such a heavy car, 2.1 ton. Yeah, I haven't started pushing the car, but the steering wheel is really precise and got a lot of feedback from the steering wheel. Just to feel a little bit. Brakes are fine. The brake pedal is more. I feel confident with this, you know, brake pedal. Let's see. Okay. Right, so yeah, I think the car handles well. Brakes. It's not about the brakes; it's just the weight of the car. So, in order to, you know, improve that, you have to have a bigger brake. But yeah, I feel like the car, the suspension is really handling well. Yeah, I mean, the steering wheel is very precise. Okay, power-wise, power obviously is enough, and it's four-wheel drive, so no worries about power. Yeah. Right. Down from the track, as you can see, the battery is still more than 50%, so power was not a problem. I will just show you also the tire pressure. As you can see here, went to 3 bar, 2.9, 2.9, 2.8. So the tires actually, after a few laps, they start to, I think after 2 or 3 laps, they start to give up. So the grip was a big problem. All right, I will let you watch the fastest lap, and we will discuss that.
Lap 755 seconds 61. 155 second 41.
So as you saw, the lap time was slightly slower than the Zeekr 001, and I don't think it's nothing to do with power. So basically, this car felt a bit different than the Zeekr. The pedal, the brake pedal feeling, I think was better on this car, even though the brakes were not better in terms of braking capacity, but it's not. Just the pedal, it gives you like more confidence when you brake. The other thing is the tires on the Zeekr were better, so they did not lose grip that fast. On this car, I think after 2 laps the tires just gave up, and I think if you reduced the pressure on the tires, maybe they will last for longer, but yeah, so we just took the car as it is, with the stock tires, with the whatever pressure was inside, so we did not do anything to it. So yeah, so power wise, for this small track, I think anything above 300 horsepower is gonna feel the same. The Zeekr on the straight line, I think we hit a higher top speed. But again, the Zeekr is slightly, the 001 is slightly heavier. I think around 200 kilograms heavier than this ET5T. I think the performance was very similar to the Zeekr 001. The only difference is Zeekr had a better suspension, but it was a bit heavier and had more power. This one, I think the steering wheel is really good. The handling on this car is pretty good. I think with better tires, better suspension, it would definitely do a better time than the Zeekr 001. Just the fact that it is lighter, a little bit slightly lighter than the Zeekr 001. All right, so the conclusion on this car. So we have done all the tests. The range is pretty good. If we consider that the battery pack on this car is only 75 kilowatts, and the claimed range is around 530 kilometers CLTC, and as we test, with test last night, we did 210, 215 on 50%, half battery charge. So that will translate into 420 kilometers of real range on a highway. So that's very impressive. I think it all comes to the the aerodynamics. I think the NIO cars actually have, I think, this the most aerodynamic shapes, design when it comes to the the outside, and I think they are one of the beautiful designs out there, especially when it comes to for me they look more like the Porsche, like the Taycan. They have the same like slick design, so that's why I think you can achieve such high range with a smaller battery. Same thing like for the Tesla. So range, I think it was really good in terms of range. 0 to 100, it was fine. So it was even faster than the claim from the factory. Performance-wise on the track, okay, this wasn't meant for track racing, but we want to test the capacity on this car if you want to have fun with it. It's a good car to have fun with the better tires, better brake pads. I think this car will be a lot of fun. All right, this is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.